everyone. Happy Monday. Sorry I'm not in class with you. Hopefully by now you had a chance to get some independent reading time in, and I'm hoping that you enjoyed that. Today we are going to talk about what you need to include in the introduction of your informational essay on entrepreneurs and the successful characteristics of those entrepreneurs. The good news is that we've written a few introductions already this year, so a lot of this will be a review, and you have the video as your guide, of course. So what should you include in your introduction? Take a moment and talk to your table. What do you think you should include in your introduction? Remember that acronym HIT, and take a minute to talk to your table. Okay, you guys can come back together. So hopefully you remember that acronym HIT, and of course we want to start by hooking our reader. After we've hooked our reader, you'll introduce your topic and the text that you're writing about. Again, we are writing about the characteristics of successful entrepreneurs, and then of course that T stands for your thesis statement or claim. So now I'd like you to take a minute to talk to your table again, and I'd like you to think about some of the strategies that we can use to hook our reader. So take another minute, talk to your table. What are some strategies we've used this year to hook our reader? Okay, again, you can start wrapping up those conversations. So we're going to quickly go through some of those strategies that we can use to hook our reader. So step one, hook your reader. Of course, you can begin with a question, but remember, we want to try to use that magic 3 to really draw our reader in. I think by now most of us have moved past using just one question. So try to use that magic 3 and start off strong with a smiley face trick. Your second option would be to begin with an imagine statement to set the scene. Maybe you could have your readers imagine Garrett Morgan walking into that burning building. There's lots of different ways that you could go about using that imagine statement. Maybe you're going to use a quote from the text. Maybe there was something that really stood out to you that you liked. And the final strategy, which is a new one for us, is to begin with a fact or a statistic. Since we are reading informational text, it's filled with facts. Maybe there was something that really surprised you, something that really stood out to you. Maybe you want to start off by hooking your reader there. I did want to give you an example since this is the new one. So here was one that I came up with. During every second of every day, thousands of photos are shared on Snapchat. I found that fact from Could You Be the Next Garrett Morgan? That was the article that had all of those different characteristics which we've been examining. Okay, so remember to hook your reader, and then after you've hooked your reader, it's time to introduce your topic and the titles of the text that you're writing about. So you might want to describe the role of an entrepreneur or an inventor. Maybe you even want to give a definition. Maybe you think there might be somebody reading who doesn't even know what an entrepreneur is. So we definitely want at least 2 sentences that are describing our topic and also introducing those texts that we're writing about. If you forgot the titles, I did put them there for you with the author's name as well, but you should have that packet with Could You Be the Next Garrett Morgan and the Fire Breather. You'll also need to give the title of that Newsella article, which relates to any entrepreneur you selected. Finally, it's time for our thesis or claim. Remember, that's our T in HIT. It's the last sentence of your introduction, and this is where we really want to let our readers know what it is that we'll be writing about and proving in our body paragraphs later on in the essay. Think about the specific characteristics in entrepreneurs which you plan to write about. You may need your green sheet. Feel free to use that. You could get very specific. There's lots of different ways that you can think about crafting your thesis statement, maybe adding some smiley face tricks in. But if you get stuck, here is a thesis statement that you can use. There are many characteristics which led to the success of Garrett Morgan and whoever it was that you selected. Oprah Winfrey, Louis Braille, Steve Jobs. Please do not write that message in the parentheses. That's where you fill in your entrepreneur. Okay, so now that we've had this review, I think you're definitely ready to start writing. The rest of your directions are on Teams. If you need to rewatch this video, you can feel free to do so. It is your responsibility to finish your introduction and mark up the structure of that introduction by Tuesday. If you have questions, you can always email me, or of course, use the Help Center, use our expert wall. Hope you have a great day. Can't wait to read your introductions.